Imtiaz, great to have you on our program, The Business Detective, once again. To begin, what is your current state assessment of the state of the economy?
Thank you, Dinesh, for having me again. Overall, the economy, as you know, we had an issue with the 2022 problem. We are slowly coming out of it. We are slowly consolidating, I would say. We are on the right track with the IMF program. So if you follow the reforms, what they are given, the prescription, a bit hard, but I think we have almost 2 years we have completed. Another 2 more years to go. And most of the hard reforms are given and few more to continue. And if you can continue that, I think we can come out of this problem.
Okay. What sectors in the Colombo CSE has the potential going forward?
So currently, like tourism is one area. I think tourism numbers are getting better. We might break the record for this year after 2018. So connected areas in the tourism, there's a good possibility. Then construction has started to do well after about 2-3 years of bad years. Manufacturing is good. Energy, those are the main areas, and especially the banks. Banks will do well. The finance companies and also investment companies who are already invested in the stock market. Those kind of companies will do
well. Going forward, with the interest rates so low, do you feel the market will continue to flourish?
Yeah, the market fundamentals are at the moment still very good. At the moment we are only around 9 market P ratio, and just now the earnings reports have come for December. We are achieving one of the highest ever record profits. Almost we have achieved 260 billion already, and for the year we will be achieving about 730 billion. So that's quite good. So with that, the P ratio can even get adjusted further down to around 8 level, 8.2. And if you see the last time, the all-time high, we hit 13,500 in January 22. That time, the P ratio, market P ratio is about 15 plus. So currently we are 9, and with the earnings can go down to 8. So that means there's so much of room still to go.
What is the potential for the market in the next 12 months? Given that the interest rates are low and no capital gains tax and dividend tax is only 15%.
Yeah, there's no other asset class that you can get a good return. As you said, the interest rates have come down. So there's not much of a place that you can make good money. So it's a tax-free income. And also company earnings are doing well, and economy GDPs are doing well. So that means most of the companies will do better and better. So this is the right time to be invested in the stock market to get higher returns.
What advice would you give for a guy who's entering the market for the first time in terms of stocks and how they should invest?
So I would say anyone coming in should always look at a long-term basis, at least 3 to 5 year horizon, and always look at opportunities. There you do some research first, get some good advice. And based on that, keep building a portfolio. So don't look at profits immediately. Keep building a portfolio so that you keep allocating a certain amount of money from your income, and over a period of 3 to 5 years, you'll definitely will have a good return plus a lump sum money that you would have made.
Can the market get to 20,000 within the next 6 months?
It's quite possible. We are almost around close to 17,000. So 3,000 points going up at a higher base. It's not a problem. As I said, like last time, it was around 15 P ratio. The market went up. Just now, the IMF has approved the third tranche. So now the budget has been almost okay. That means IMF is agreeable with that also. So next is the credit ratings that can go up. It's already gone up 1 notch, but to get to a better rating, I think soon now the rating agencies will start looking at us, say within the next couple of months. So with that, the foreign fund flows can come back into the market, which has been negative for this year and last year, because they were not able to invest actually in our market. So that will be a good sign. If that comes, like the bank valuations and all, those are the ones that really push the index up, high weighted for that. And I feel 20,000 is nothing. It can go much higher, but ups and downs will be there in the market. The pullbacks will be there, consolidations will be there. So that's overall, it will be good. Yeah, so 20,000 is it's not difficult to pass, I think.
What are high net worth individuals like you all doing to bring back some of the foreign investors who have moved away from the market?
So individually, I don't know whether much can do, but whenever I travel abroad, I always meet Sri Lankans. And recently, last week also, I had a Zoom session with, I was in Qatar, so I organized a program for them. So whoever the expats who are living abroad, I want to give the positive message about the country, the economy, about the market, whatever I can, the knowledge that I have gained over the 35 to 40 years in the market, because still people are not used to stock market much yet, especially in Sri Lanka. So people are still used to the fixed deposit income, the extra what they have, but that is not giving a good return, only 6-7%, and also on top of that you have to pay taxes. So you will be ultimately ending up with net of about 45%. So one way to go forward, if you want to create wealth, I think the only way is to go through the stock market, because those are all established companies and having very good earnings are coming out. So if you are living in abroad even, you can't come and start a company easily. You need a very big capital, and certain businesses you won't be able to even start. For example, let's say you want a bank or something. If you have experience for 25 years, worked abroad, you team up and come with some investors, you're not going to get a license today. So banks are trading very low today, like 0.5, 0.6 to book values, and giving good returns. So more than putting money in the fixed deposit, it's better to buy their bank shares and make a better return today.
If there's a consolidation in the banking sector, will that actually help the CSE to move forward?
I think so, yeah. So definitely that's the way forward should be. It has to consolidate. It's too many banks are there. Finance companies are about 40 odd, and I think banks are about 20 odd. If you take countries like Singapore, they have only about 4 banks, and that was ideally what they say is only 2 local banks should survive, So that's how it should be. Because otherwise too many branches are being opened, monies are being spent on unnecessary areas. So you can give a much better service, and even investors, they can pull up together, because otherwise what they can buy is only a 10% stake each. So if you have a consolidated, your capital outflow is much more in a bigger pool. You will have a 10% of that, rather than trying to buy parts of small stakes in different banks.
With the vehicle market opening up, will there be a cooling off in the CSE?
I don't think so. Most of them who are really super rich will have their own cash and they'll buy. Others will go for leasing. So yeah, small outlay will go out, but I don't think so. Those people who are in the stock market that will be really investing in a big way. I don't see much of money going out of the market.
On the regulatory side, how friendly are the regulations, and do you think that we need a few more changes?
I think they are done quite a lot with the last act. I think they are done, and now they have been educating the people. Earlier, we used to see a lot of people giving recommendations. Social media was active. I think those things have now pulled off a bit. I think those days used to call every time. SEC used to call a lot of people. That has slowed down because they have been advised, and people have learned a lesson or understood what to be told and not to be told. So I think there is a good environment at the moment. People are behaving well, so that SEC also not troubling too much at the moment. It's going smoothly. Yeah.
Well, what are the key risks you see for the CSE in the next 3 years, given that we need to stay on course with the IMF program? What are the risks you see?
Risk is like if you deviate from the IMF program, like if you don't do whatever the reforms that are told and you try to change tax, then there can be issues like then the people won't have the trust in the government or the policies that they are doing. So far, whatever the new government has come in, they have followed the IMF program, although they said different things before the election. So that's a good positive. That's why the market has done well. So they are going through the program. It's difficult for them to do it, but they have understood it. There's no way to deviate from this. So if you can continue the next 2 years also same, and also if you can do the SOE is also privatization. That's another big area that has to happen, because whatever government can say, some can be managed properly and all that, but you'll have to always understand. For example, like say Sri Lankan Airlines, one time, they put certain people and they messed up the company. So what guarantee is there, after 5 years or 10 years after this government, another government will come and do the same thing. So you do the right thing now. If it has to be privatized, let's privatize. So don't say we have good managers and we'll manage it now, but later on someone else will come and do a wrong thing and again get back to the wrong losses again. So for example, if you say like Sri Lankan Airlines, if now the tourism is improving, the like Indian transit is like quite a lot of business can be the Sri Lankans living abroad, about 2 to 3 million, they are coming back all the time for holidays or work permits to renew. So there is a good opportunity for the Sri Lankan Airlines to expand the fleet even. I would say even we should have about 100 aircrafts, not like trying to manage the 22 and say with 17 or 18 we made 1 or 2 billion rupees profit. The potential is so much high, it can be even 100 billion rupees profit. We should look at the bigger picture and try to privatize and give to the right people who will take the airline to another level, whereas then a lot of more tourists will come and will get a good service for the country.
Imtiaz, given that the market is doing so well at the moment, why are there very few IPOs?
IPOs again last year was not that great. Like the last 1 or 2 years was market was not didn't do that well. Recently, only within the last 6-7 months, the market has taken off with about 6,000-7,000 points. So now people will start looking at it, and also earlier time there was a tax concession was given for new listings, and that was taken off. And so nothing special that they are offering for an IPO. So only thing, if they really need the money, now the interest rates also come down. People will take their own time, especially like family-owned businesses. We have a lot of regulatory issues. They will think twice to come in. So you'll have to attract them with something special to come and list.
Given that you're a veteran investor, what is your advice? What advice would you give a young retail investor who's just getting into the market?
Yeah, so don't, as I said, always look at the long term. Start allocating a certain amount monthly. Whatever happens to the market, market goes up or goes down, do a dollar averaging, right? So actually, the new investors should be happy if the market is down, right? If you are going to buy a share for, so let's say 100 rupees today, if the market goes down to 90, they should be even more happier, because why? They are collecting more number of shares. So over a period, they would have collected. So you need about 2 to 3 years to build up a good capital base. So don't look at, say, putting 100,000 rupees today and you want to double that to 200,000. Look at putting 100,000, let's say monthly or whatever, and in 5 years, that's going to be 5-6 million rupees. Then at that time, the market going up 100-200%, then you have made 15 to 20 million rupees. So look at in a bigger picture rather than always looking on a daily basis how the index is performing. Index keeps moving up because of banks can up and down. So banks have really gone up to a point. So there will be consolidations happening. Certain days banks, certain shares can come down. So that will pull down the index. So that gives a wrong impression for the new investors, thinking the overall the market is coming down. But that's not the case. Sometimes 5 shares, 6 shares would have taken 60-70% of the index value would have been brought down. So then they think today is a negative day and everything is going to go down, and they get panicked and start selling their valuable shares. So hold on and be patient. That's the only way. Discipline and patient, that's the only way you can make money on a long-term basis in the market.
Yeah, Imtiaz, my last 2 questions. One is, any specific shares to watch in the next 3 months?
I don't want to mention any names. As I told you, some sectors, if you can follow, those are the ideal things, because we're also investing in the market. That's not right. So I'll be biased on certain things if I mention. It's always good for you to do your own research. Informations are available. Now today AI is there. Many things are there. Information, too much of information available, but you must know how to get those, get the maximum use of those information. And if you do it right, I think plenty of opportunities are there to make money in this market, because some of the shares are still trading at 3, 4, 5 times the PE, whereas it can go to much higher levels. So you are looking at multi-baggers, many are available in the market if you really identify correctly. So you have to do your own research. So if you give it as a short term, I might say today something based on today's pricing. But after another 3 months or 6 months, certain things would have changed. Policies would have changed. The economic situation would have changed. Then they'll start finding fault and said so and so said the share is good, but it has. At the meantime, the market would have gone up. That share would have gone up also. They would have not sold at the right time. So I won't know how much each individual want to make. A 3% profit is comfortable to them, or a 15%, or a 50%, or 100. So that is up to them. Selling point is up to them. So if we give advice for buying, selling is not in our control. So I don't want to individually give any recommendations.
Imtiaz, any recommendations of any AI apps that investors can use?
Still, I'm using ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and all those things I'm using, but still to the local market, I think still not properly informations have gone. So some are not 100% right, but it will take a little more time. But keep trying, more and more use. I think it will get formed, and you'll get your information what you want.
Okay. My final question to you is: what kind of ROIs did the high net worth guys like you make in the last 6 months?
Last 6 months, more than 50%, I would say we have made. Again, depends on your portfolio. I would say from the time the COVID, we have made 10, 15 times would have gone up our portfolios, because that's the amount of kind of returns there if you really properly invest and do it rightly. So as I said, discipline and patience and research is very important to be on top of the game.
And what are you all doing to make the market also sustainable?
So education, I think CSE is doing a lot of education through the universities, regional. They are going, I think end of this month there is an investor forum, international, some are coming. So apart from that, the individual stock brokering companies are doing a lot of research and seminars and other things that they are doing. So everyone is they are doing their part, but it's not active enough. You see the overall people who are really involved into the stock market are only about 35,000 people actively trading. Although they have about 900,000 CDS accounts are open, actively trading is about 40,000. So I will prefer much more number to come in to the market, so that the wealth creation will have to be educated to others. It's not like some people think it's like a gambling or short-term profits, or you lose your whole capital. It can't happen in stock market just like that. If you are diversified with about 10 stocks, there's no way that you can lose your capital. You can lose just 10, 15, 20%, you can lose on a short period, but all that can go up. Like good example is after COVID, we went up to 13,500, and by January 22, we were 13,500. Then we came down all the way down to about 6,000 plus. And most of the portfolio came down almost 50%. And now we are back again above the 13,500, and we are at 17,000. So, so that's how so if you hold on, if you feel the companies are doing well and there's nothing changes happening and there's potential in that, you can't go wrong. So it's only the sentiment sometimes. You feel that sometimes some people are selling out, or market has gone up and it can come down now fast also. That fear is there. So if you can control your emotions and behave, I think you can't go wrong too much.
Thank you, Imtiaz. It was great talking to you.
Thank you.